Buying the wrong condo or townhome could cost you thousands of dollars in fines, or even force you to sell your home. I know that sounds extreme, but it happens more than you think. Homebuyers move into their new home only to realize the Strata rules don't allow their pets, or limits the number of people that occupy the unit, or prohibits things that they assumed were normal. The worst part? By signing the contract of purchase and sale, removing subjects, you take on personal liability now that if you don't follow the bylaws or the rules, there is a very good chance you can be fined. In today's video, I'll discuss the following with you: the importance of reading the Strata documents. The second thing I'll discuss is the most common Strata bylaw and rule violations that I see. And the last thing is we'll discuss how you can avoid all of this. Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Gary Dhindsa and I am an Abbotsford realtor. My only ask is that if you found today's content valuable, please go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe button. If you want to book a call with me and my team, you can click the first link in the description below. Let's start with the importance of reviewing the Strata documents. The first thing to remember is when you're purchasing a condo or townhome, you're not just purchasing the individual unit, but you're also purchasing a share in the Strata corporation. That's why it's very important that you review the Strata documents, the Strata bylaws and rules. Also, you want to understand that if you don't follow the Strata bylaws and rules, you can be fined. In most stratas, you're usually fined $50 for violating the rules and up to $200 for violating the Strata bylaws. The worst thing is if you're violating Strata bylaws related to causing unreasonable noise and nuisance, you can be fined up to every 21 days. The Strata bylaws differ from complex to complex. So meaning the condo building A here might have totally different bylaws and rules in comparison to the building across the street. When you're purchasing a townhome or a condo, one important subject to include on your contract of purchase and sale is the subject to review the Strata documents. Before you have an accepted offer or once you have an accepted offer, you can get the Strata documents and bylaws from the listing agent. The Strata minutes and the financials will be from the last 24 months. And it's very important that you work with the right realtor, and more importantly, that you take the time to review and understand the different things included in the Strata documents. One of the most common things that I hear from my clients when I'm helping first-time home buyers, people that are looking to upgrade, downsize, or investors is the question, Gary, do I need to review the documents? And my answer is yes, unless you want hundreds of dollars in unseen fines. And once you're done reviewing the Strata documents, you'll have a very good idea about if this is the right complex for you, or there's certain things that you should be worried about. The second thing is you want to work with a local realtor like myself that has knowledge of the A+ stratas versus the average stratas you don't want to purchase. Just recently, I had a client purchase their first home, which is a 2-bath condo here in Abbotsford. And one of the things that came apparent to me when I was doing the review for the Strata documents was there were a number of owners in that building that had purchased a 1-bed or 2-bedroom unit. They were violating one of the bylaws, which was in relation to the number of people that can live in a unit. And what happened was these people bought the unit and they started getting fined. And the worst part was now they were being forced to sell. In this building alone, without giving away the address, I saw a few units for sale because they were violating this bylaw. My goal with today's video is to make sure you get all the valuable information that you need, and more importantly, equip you with the right tools so you can make an informed decision when you're buying a condo or a townhome. Next, let's talk about the most common Strata bylaws and rule violations. The first one is associated to pets. When I'm meeting with first-time home buyers or people looking to buy a condo or a townhome, one of the first questions I have for them is, do you have any pets? The follow-up question that I'll have for my client is, what kind of dog do you have? What breed? What's the weight of your current pet? Just because certain complexes either don't allow a certain breed or a dog past a certain height and weight. This might be something that my clients totally were unaware of or they didn't even think about. The thing is, folks, when you're helping people, pets are an important part of their family, so this is an important part of their decision making. What I see when reviewing Strata documents for my clients, for the most common complaints are related to the owners either violating the pet bylaws for that complex or complaints related to puppies and noises related to your pets. One example could be excessive barking from your dog. Another thing is certain complexes don't allow certain breeds, which include Rottweilers and Pit Bulls. Number 2, Occupancy limits. A lot of condos and townhome complexes have limits on how many people can live in a certain unit. Let's talk about condos. For some condo complexes, they have limits on how many people can occupy a one-bedroom versus a two-bedroom unit. For a one-bedroom unit, it's usually limited to 2 people, and a two-bedroom unit is limited to 4 people. I've seen the same bylaws for townhome complexes as well. That's why it's really important when you're buying a condo or a townhome, you take the actual time of reviewing the strata documents and the bylaws. Number 3, parking violations. This is another common rule or bylaw I see owners violating. More importantly in condos, where what happens is owners get lazy or there's not enough street parking in that area. So if they have a second vehicle, they start parking in the front visitor parking. What happens the following couple of days or weeks is they get a letter in the mail that is a warning from the Strata Council saying that you need to stop parking there or you'll be fined. Number 4, renovations without approval. Some strata complexes like condos, townhomes actually have bylaws related to things you need certain approval for when doing renovations. One of the most common examples is when you're taking out a structural wall in a condo or a townhome, but there could be minor things like if you're changing the floor in the condominium, some strata complexes might have bylaws related to what type of flooring you need, or they might say that in certain rooms you're only allowed carpet only. Number 5, smoking and vaping bans. A lot of strata councils actually have bans when it comes to smoking and vaping. This includes these bans inside your unit and on common strata property. One of the other common fines that you see are in relationship to smoking, where people are smoking cigarettes on their balcony or near the front door to the entrance of the building. So if you're someone that enjoys smoking, keep this in mind. Number 6, loud music and nuisance complaints. This is another violation I see when I'm reviewing strata documents for clients when it comes in relationship to music. A lot of times this is related to having units that are tenant occupied. What happens is when residents are not able to enjoy their home or they hear loud music above or below them, what they're going to do is they're going to complain to the strata with the hopes of this stopping. Strata councils take noise complaints very seriously. When you read the bylaws for different complexes, you'll clearly hear some of the rights owed to the individual owner of the unit. One is the right to enjoy their home. The second is when there is unreasonable noise, nuisance being caused by people above or below them, they have the right to make a complaint with the Strata Council, and the Strata Council has to take that complaint very seriously. Number 7, non-payment of strata fees and special levies that are due. By the first of each month, you have to pay your monthly maintenance fee. The strata fee for a 1-bedroom unit will be less in comparison to a 2-bedroom unit. And the same thing with the townhome. Depending on the size of your townhome, if your townhome is near 2,000 square feet, your strata fee will be higher in comparison to those newer townhomes that are between 12 to 1,300 square feet of living space. What happens is if you don't pay your strata fees for a couple of months, the strata will issue a warning with the hopes of reoccurring those payments that are due. But over time, if you don't pay, they can actually put a lien against your property. The worst case scenario is if you're thousands of dollars behind in strata fees and dues for special levies, what the strata can do is apply for a court sale in order to recoup their money that is due to the Strata Corporation. Number 8, this is to do with those properties that are tenant occupied. More importantly, this comes down to the landlord not doing their homework when they're renting out their individual units. And what happens is people living beside them, on top or below, get fed up with unreasonable noise or nuisance that's taking place. And what do? They make a complaint to the Strata Council. If you're an investor, that's why it's very important that you do your homework when you're screening tenants, or the other option is that you go through a property management company. Number 9, balcony storage. Other things that I see in condos and townhomes is people start storing personal items other than a barbecue and patio furniture on a balcony, and what happens is stratas take this very seriously and they start cracking down on this. So you're probably wondering, all right, Gary, this makes a lot of sense, but how can I avoid these headaches? So if you're a first-time home buyer or you're looking to buy a condo or townhome, this is what you need to do. The first thing is you want to work with an experienced realtor in the area that has a specialty of helping people buy properties in a strata, and they also have a list of stratas you want to buy in or avoid. The odd thing is buying a condo or a townhome in an A+ strata complex costs the same price as buying a crappier unit in a complex that's not well run. The last thing is review the goddamn Strata documents. Yes, it's going to take you 4 to 6 hours of reviewing these documents. My recommendation is that you make out the time, grab a couple of cups of coffee if you need, wine, and take the time to review these documents, bylaws, and rules so you can make an informed decision. Buying a condo or a townhome is a great investment, especially if you're looking to make memories in the home. But not all strata complexes are built the same. If you want to know more information about if you're buying the right condo, click the video on the side because I'm going to walk you through a checklist of the different things you need to know when you're purchasing your first or second condo. My only ask is if you found today's video, please go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe button so we can keep bringing more content like this to you. My name is Dhindsa, and we'll see you next week.